Some years ago, I was employed in an organisation where I was in a role that I really wasn't enjoying. I was quite bored, actually. And the culture wasn't so great. There'd been some stuff that had gone on that wasn't real good, and that was impacting on the whole organisation and any team within it. And so there was a lot of legacy stuff going on from actions that had gone beforehand, but were still being held by people because it was still pretty fresh. And even still, there were other things from the not too distant past that were also playing a part in what was going on in that organisation. Then enter a new manager into the business, and he was going to be my immediate manager. And to be fair, there was probably a belief that he was being brought in to actually turn the culture around or assist in that happening, especially in the area that he was walking into, because they had the majority of the people. And I remember my very first conversation with him. So in his first week within the organisation, obviously having, meetings with lots of people, understanding what's going on, the lay of the land, that sort of thing. And then had some time with me. And I don't remember anything I said, it's so long ago, but I do remember that I probably was whinging. I was probably going on about everything that was wrong with the place and everything that was not great with my role. And I do remember that he stayed fairly silent throughout all of that, and I can very strongly remember watching him put his hand in his head and sort of he was just rubbing his head like that. I came to know that when he did something like that, he was probably holding in, something that might have, I was frustrating him with what I was saying. He was just saying, oh my God. And of course, this sort of thing doesn't just happen in isolation in certain organisations. This expectation that someone's going to come in and turn everything around when it's been like that for quite some time is really, there's no way that that's going to happen. It's an unrealistic expectation. Were things turned around? Yes, they were, but that took time. And like I said, this sort of thing happens in many organisations. It is not just subject to a certain industry or a certain sector. This stuff happens in government as well. We will whinge about whatever is happening in the day or the government of the day, and yet not think about the fact that something got us here in the first place. And that is the same within our organisations. When things aren't going right, there's a reason why, and they haven't just happened overnight. Steps have been taken, actions have been taken, or not, that have got us to where we are. And then we expect someone who's walked in and they're there for 5 minutes to suddenly turn it around. That is just not going to happen. It is going to take some time. It might take 6 months, it might take 12 months, it might take 18 even. It could take longer if there's no real strategy for how we're going to turn around whatever's happened. In saying all of that, it is important to understand where we've come from and what has got us to where we are, because that then is helpful for us to understand what we need to do to take us further, to take us to the next stage, to improve whatever needs to be improved while still maintaining the stuff that's actually really good, the strengths of our organisation, the strengths of our individuals and our teams. So the next time we're sort of piling on someone who may have only just walked into the organisation and, have this, expectation that they're going to fix what they had nothing to do with, just remember that it does take time. It is not going to happen overnight. And give them the opportunity to actually understand what is happening so they can then work with you to turn around whatever needs to be turned around. There is a legacy with what has gone on in the past. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. But let's work together to get to where we need to go to and remember that we all play a part in where we're at.